The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped. The sun.
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli neðanbor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Engan eigi ég hlut að máli þessu.
You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Use R to pan around your surroundings. Zoom in by holding down R2 or L2. Press X to continue. Looks like I'm in charge of a couple of giants here. Seems I'll take up 4 squares. They've only got 1. Oh, I like that. I'm up in the rafters, looking down. These portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Your allies are blue, the enemy is red. It's your turn to act. Movement happens before action, standard stuff. Some characters fill more tiles than others. The Horned allies are a race of giants called Val, who take up 4 tiles each, while humans fill a single tile. This can have a huge impact on your strategy. Use L to move tile. Blah 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 blah. Enemy tiles are red and pulse if the enemy is in range to target nearby enemies. L to select him. Press X to attack. You can choose to either attack the enemy's strength, 5 or break his armor 2. The numbers beneath each icon show the damage you will do to that stat. Fixed damage. Nice. Strength counts as both health and damage. A loss of 2 strength means you'll now do 2 less damage. Okay. Strength falls 0, the character falls in battle. Armor blocks strength damage, but can be reduced by a break attack. By breaking armor, you're able to take more damage in the future. This enemy has only 5 strength remaining. A strength attack will kill him. Select the fist to attack strength. Just in a bit, mate. He's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking an action, the turn ends. Next up is the enemy. Turns always alternate, even if you are outnumbered. Despite being at full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield banker's high armor. Oh, it's your Warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of these enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. By moving on gold tiles, a unit can move further than usual at the cost of 1 willpower per gold tile. It's just like an extra AP. Where is my willpower stat though? Is that it? 8 of 8? Yes, that went down to 6. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your Warhawk has a special ability that gives him a unique advantage. Your unit menu combat options include move, ability, attack, and end turn. Activate the purple ability icon now. Tempest. This ability description appears in the tooltips below. The Warhawk's Tempest allows him to slam multiple enemies at once. Use left right on D-pad to select enemy, and then confirm your choice with X. I want to hit them both. There we go. Pillage! That made quick work of the chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only 1 enemy left, the players enter pillage mode. During pillage, each character moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the order has changed. Your allies now get to move twice in a row. Oh yes, okay. If a character does not move on his turn, he can rest to regain 1 willpower. The chieftain will rest this turn. Looks like the chieftain is in some trouble. Your shield banger won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower can be used to boost your damage. Use R and X to begin the attack. It's the L1 and R1. Is that the willpower thing? Yes. Get in those hot coals, you. Victory!
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. 12 families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his lust. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off, it just grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Chapter 1. Only the sun has stopped. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eirik, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Oh, you can... Ubin, isn't it? What do you want? The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Scalfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. I was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Use L1 to highlight the market tent and press X to visit the merchant. Oh. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-face houses and eroded stalls. Coloured canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Blanches, I presume, means turn white. Hud. I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scalfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago. Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. Eirik overturns his flimsy table, scattering Had's assortment of junk across the ground. Gods, Eirik, laying it on a bit heavy, don't you think? Where are the Scalfings? Noblemen, up by East Wall, but that was months ago, last I know. Had skulks away with a wave of Eirik's hand gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. What are we done here? Gunnulf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? Nope, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? They look good. I'm glad you care. Gunnulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eirik, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be Scalfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone into old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is in Mead Hall? Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? What a luxury. Come on, you've already mopped up worse today. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. You arrive in front of what must be Nobleman. A few minutes later, Eirik appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eirik says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door? They ran to a mead house, said Valgard. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again, without repair. As you enter the hall, Eirik is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Scalfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Demon Cyborg! How you doing, man? Morning for you, my friend. It's mid-afternoon now. Must be really early for you. Good morning, sir. Hope you've had some breakfast, and I am doing well, thank you. Stonewall blocks damage to strength and armor for 1 round. Rally gives willpower to allies at any range. Okay, well they should all be full on willpower, so I don't need that. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my girlfriend to get up so we can leave Vegas. Can't wait. I'm glad, man. I'm glad you're happy that you're going home. How long will the drive be? Oh, that's not too bad, I guess. Do you share the driving, or do only you drive? We share because my girlfriend doesn't like when I drive. Well, you be safe, man. Flagged. Whoa, 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 whoa. This isn't good. Probably get back to California in 2 hours. Yeah, well, better safe than sorry, man. Then you go being all dangerous and stuff, and getting arrested or worse in a motor accident. Why can't I do this? There we go. I've literally just started playing, mate. I love the art style, I can talk about that. And the storytelling seems quite cool. I kind of like these turn-based combat games, so that's always a plus for me. Yeah, I can't really say much more about it, to be honest. It's quite an old game, actually. I think it came out on PC in 2014. I think I've screwed it up, man. I think I'm gonna lose this battle. The guy's only got two health left. I'm a little bit worried. Oh shit! I didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. Bollocks. Yeah, he's down. Yeah, don't wake your girlfriend, bro. She'll kick your ass, man, if she's asleep. Deflect. Yeah, this is my first battle, and I'm scared I'm gonna lose my dudes. Okay, this guy's still full health, so he's cool. He's gravy. I can kill this guy. He's killed like 3 dudes. Big guy drops like a stone. Let's do that. Why does that guy keep deflecting my I wonder if they're supposed to die here. Maybe it's part of the story. She probably would. Mind GF is 5 feet and 4 inches, so she's pretty small. I'm 5'9", and pretty buff. So it's cute when she gets mad at me. Ah, young love. I remember it well. There they are, gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hull's windows onto the bay. A fleet of long ships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Vol King's ship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yes, important guess. See what I deal with all day long. Things make a little more sense. You'd hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favour? What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Or maybe I will. Eirik and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eirik tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. So it's part text adventure, part resource management, I think, and part, like you just seen, sort of turn-based combat. Vognir. The familiar Vol steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is Vognir, there must be Hakon. I guess that's Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tribute from the poor and stupid old yokes. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorunda demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberang, in fact. I'm glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. Oh, I don't know if I can read much, man. My throat's hurting a bit. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Morgra, Hakon? Have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Morga. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you'd think. Weariness suddenly settles in and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. I want to know if my dude's dead. The guy who fell in battle. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Wait, let me just... No, can't see my party. Oh wait, maybe I can. Use L1 to highlight the talk icon, press X to converse with the hero. So I think that's my dude there actually, so he's not dead, if that's him. I think that's maybe me. Let's talk to Hardcon. Scrivener! You find Hakon in a mead house surrounded by other Val. Strand is no stranger to Val, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Vognir is the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Each year is the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha, humans! I guess if I only lived as long as a yok's fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Vol could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swathe through Dredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the meat house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Luden. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. Yes, you're with Vognir. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman does not react. Where's this woman in red? I like women in red. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's tithes, maybe teeths. I'm gonna stick with tithes. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. A Vol historian? Don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities. I've been on the road a while, I'm afraid. Luden takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious you are not certain. Maybe both. A formality mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Arberang, and now we go to the Vol's capital in Grofheim to cement this grand alliance for the next age of men and Vol. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it, and it's damn cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. At dawn you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply ladders. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eirik had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Vognir is already here. A while later, Luden and his men appear, groggy and dishevelled. Mulgur steps forward. Okay, that's... I think that's the dude. No, it's not. Vognir's quartermaster. If you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you are ready to depart. Well, I have no choice. We are ready. You follow Mulgur and the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarises Strand while as a whole you think, I wish in the future VR games would be a common thing. There's a lot more, man, coming. I mean, they seem to be flying out at the moment, even. Still not enough to make me want to buy one. I'll probably wait until the next generation of consoles before I indulge. But there are quite a few games I'd like to play in them. Like I'd like to play... Doesn't Resident Evil 7 have a VR mode? I think that'd be pretty cool. I think No Man's Sky, does that have one? Skyrim? I'd quite like to play Skyrim in VR. Skyrim, No Man's Sky, Resi 7. There's probably quite a few more. I want to play that game where you're kind of a god. I've almost bought it. What's it called? You basically just destroy stuff with your hands like a god. You fly around like Superman, just destroying worlds. It's on sale right now, actually. I can't think what it's bloody called. Let me try and think. I think it's 2 words. Miss Paddy. Excuse me. Did a little inward burp there. I hope that wasn't audible. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Morgan, cracking open mead. From our gracious friend, the Governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. Drink a little, drink a lot, let's toast to Vognir. Let's just drink a lot. I'm a big Viking giant. Why wouldn't I drink a lot? Of course I'd drink a lot. It's not often you get the chance to relax on the road. The odds of something happening to the treasure cart is low, especially in this company, so you take advantage. Talking about No Man's Sky, did you hear there was a big update? I did, mate. I saw it. I saw a few trailers for it and stuff. Toadie sent me an invite to it the other night. But I'm just not sure it's enough to get me playing it again. I might have a look. I might have a little look at it when I've got less to play. Here's the problem with me and No Man's Sky, man. I was an early defender of the game. I didn't like all the hate it got. I loved it when it first came out because I was seriously wanting to play Elite Dangerous before it was on PS4 or some game like it. And then No Man's Sky came out and I was like, okay, this is great. This is like my stopgap. This will fill the hole in my belly until I finally get to play Elite Dangerous. But then as soon as Elite Dangerous came out, kind of killed No Man's Sky for me, even though they're very different games now. I like No Man's Sky when I'm on the planets, but whenever I have to get in the ship and fly, it's like, oh man, it feels like I'm in a little toy ship compared to when I play Elite. So I always think if I go back to like one of my spacefaring games, it's always going to be Elite Dangerous every time. But I might give it a go again. That's another one that's got VR, I think. Certainly on PC. I don't know about PS4, but it has on PC. You rise groggily. The campsite's a casualty of merriment. Morgir is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking you in a direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up! You nudge Vognir. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Vognir releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Oh, we're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. Man, I gotta go get ready. Message and PS4 when you get there. Yes, man, you do that, brother. I'll speak to you later, man. Have a good day. I don't think I'm going to stream this very long anyway. Probably going to just do an hour. I want to play Dragon's Dogma today, so I'm going to re-download that. And then finish that game from last night, tonight. Drive safe, Aquarius. Okay, I'll speak to you soon, man. This is the map of the world you explore by panning with R and zooming with L2, R2. It's huge. Dundeer's beard. This reminds me of... take it easy, brother. Oh, I love maps like these. I used to draw maps like these when I was a kid. The location of your caravan is indicated here by Ubin's icon. The world map is covered with many locations and holds much lore. You can explore the map at any time, selecting locations with L1, R1, L1, and press X for information. Hraun. The long snowfields, tall mountains and sparse woods of Hraun used to be the gathering place of Dredge during the Second Great War. As Val pushed them ever northward, they took the land and settled it themselves, preferring the cold expanses over the warm, busier lands of Men to the south. Now the territory is almost entirely Val. Val's March. Cradle of Grofheim is named such for the belief that each Val of worth buried in Kingsbarrow becomes the bones of the mountains, eventually forming a new peak along the range. The size of each peak, it was said, would vary depending on the worth of the Val. Whoa, 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 oh, bollocks. We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. It's going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Skrymiestead instead? Why not take the ships to Skrymiestead? What's the point of marching? Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad though. We could have shown you the wonders of Skrymiestead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge prints. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers. Luden exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off. Luden's got a shorter work than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vedrifal if we're lucky. Camp is where you manage your caravan during travel. You can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in town, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in the hero tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. Training will allow you to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Tap leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to get back on the road. One or more of your units is injured, they can still fire but have a penalty. They heal as time passes when resting in camp. Select a unit, use that to promote ranks and learn about abilities. Gunulf, rank 1 Warhawk. Tempest. Okay, so you can rank those up to hit more enemies. Character, so odd, enemies standing adjacent to his target on a strength attack take 1 strength damage from the shockwave. Hunker down. Robust. Right, so do I... bonus crits. Ubin became the Val's King's tax collector. He was given an entourage, bodyguards to help transport gold collected across Hron. Gunnulf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. So I could promote him. Well, wait, where are my other dudes? It seems like I've changed parties. Oh, maybe not. See? Okay. I guess we'll promote him. Increase your item rank, highest stats and talents. Increase wisdom level for those who live past the first battle story during down the path to legend. And that will cost me 5 renown, I guess? Yeah. Students points available to spend on improving stats and talents. Activate one of them. Plus buttons above. I'm gonna make him a beast tank. Ludin is the Prince of Men, the first heir of a vast kingdom. Though disliked by peers and rivals on account of his high-born attitude, few question his intelligence, combat skills, or entourage. Hakon is something of a legend in the Vol culture. When he met Vognir, it was during the Second Great War, in which the two became known for cutting his way through Dredge, where others were struggling just to stay alive. Vognir was always the charismatic leader, but there was no question about which of the two would win in a fight. Morgur is an old hand in Vol culture, long on the front line of the fight against the Dredge. He's had the occasional brush with leading clan of his own, but eventually settled well into commanding Vognir's personal army of Vol warriors and is highly respected among them. Okay, I think that's all I can do in here, unless I want to go through. It's a triangle at the bottom there. Yeah, these definitely on the other guys, because these guys have got no kills, so I guess we left the other guys behind. I need to fix Gunnulf. How do I do that? I have to rest him. See if he's still injured. He is, he needs to rest another day. And he's back. Okay. Training, I don't think I need training. But archers have their melee units that stay safe behind. I've not even got any archers yet. Okay, let's I don't want to. I've decided. I've changed my mind. I don't want to. Okay, let's do it anyway. fuck was that? Jesus. Okay, so that's a knockback. Pretty good. You get, okay, so you can level up in there.
Wedderfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
It's a lot of wall for some missing cattle. What? A couple of days back sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself, but sinks in the jaunty on his behalf. What have your cattle gone? No, my boys see men up the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Scalfings out here, maybe. Could they have Vol working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to look around and get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the coven sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. A silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of Vol? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You're thinking of scoring? Not enough room for a couple of hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. Hear that? Where's Luden? It's faint, sounds like fighting, and something else. Acorn takes off to run. before some battle, 1 willpower star is added to your horn. Using a horn will give 1 willpower to the active ally. Trying to get yourself killed, Ludin. What were you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. You've never seen a dredge before, boy. What kind of idiot? Break their armor first. Where did they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Vognir lies face down. The future Valking lies motionless aside from a spreading pool of blood. Vognir is dead. Chapter 2. Cut with keen-edged sword. Dead. Okay. It's lunchtime. That. Oh, let's watch this first. Where did that thing come from? So we've got a couple of archers here. That's the guy. I think it's okay. Okay, maybe I won't go just yet. Deployment happens before battle. Select your units, Rook and Dalet. With left and right, and deploy them within the blue squares using Howlites. Careful, don't get too close. Thread the needle, hits all units between the ultra and targets. Does armor break damage? Mark prey. Oh shit, I have to be quite close. Let's let him move. that a dredge? Alette looks calm, but you can tell her heart is about to beat right out of her chest. It was. Let me see. Are you hurt? No, I'll be fine. When the dredge attacked, your cart and the yokes bolted. It spilled most of your supplies. You can see more dark figures moving through the trees when you glance in that direction. All that food, that's the last we're going to get before winter. What do we do? Don't run. Let me think. Forget the supplies, let's get to Skogia. If we hurry we can gather them before more dredge appear. Do you think we can handle more of them? You know what? Forget the supplies, let's get back to Skogia. Okay, what are they even doing here? No clue. What do we need to warn everyone right now? Supplies represent food and are the goods used to keep everyone alive on the road. When supplies are gone, people will start to die of starvation. The more people are in the caravan, the faster supplies will diminish. You can see how many days supplies you've left on the travel display at the top of the screen. Most towns will have supplies to sell as well as a few items. So we have 3 supplies. Doesn't seem good. I think we're gonna make it. We only lost 1 supply. 1 ration of supplies. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, the time's not going down. Okay, good. It's just us 2.
I never expected to see the dredge with my own eyes. What happened in the north? Already we see more between the trees as we approach our home, and Alette grips my hand tight. We must find Ivar.
Finish Hellblade?
No, I'm going to finish it later on. Who dat? Who dat? I'm just about to get off this actually. Let me see who that is. Sophie! Hey Soph. No, I'm going to get back on it later. I'm going to re-download Dragon's Dogma today. Play a little bit of that and then finish Hellblade off tonight. And then carry on with Dragon's Dogma. The enormous Varl in question towers over the men in the training field. He squints as you approach. Already back, Huntmaster. Thought you'd be tomorrow. Dredge everywhere. Dredge? How did they get through Greyhorn? Must have broken through the fort. The fighters nearby have stopped sparring. They gather around you. Damn it, they'll be here soon if they're not already. You hear screams from the outskirts. People are running toward the Great Hall. Ivar turns to one of the older boys in his group of fighters. Egil, take Alette to the Great Hall. Tell the chieftain what's happening. The rest of you gather up as many people as you can. Come on, Alette. No, wait. I want to help. Let them fight, Ivar. Why not invite some goats to join us too? You're asking for dead kids. I won't let anything happen to her. They'll have to deal with it sooner or later, Ivar. What now? Egil, keep your shield up. We must hold them off until everyone's inside, then we figure out what to do next. More shouts draw your attention to some houses atop a nearby hill. I'm trying to get off, but it keeps chucking me into battle situations. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, this is where I get off. If you want to quit, you'll be able to resume from your last save. Where is save? I presume that was it when I just got to town. Yeah, so Hellblade, what time? Probably about 9 PM, Soph? Don't know if you're still there. Are you there? Yes, you are. Probably about... What time is it now? Let me see. 3:30. Probably about 8 or 9 PM to finish Hellblade. But it's Friday, Sophie. Aren't you going out?
Okay.
Don't you go out on a Friday night?
How far did you get? I fell asleep.
I got to the tree. I'm not sure how much is left. It feels like I'm quite near the end of the game, but I got to a tree where the sword is inside, and you have to go and get the shards to complete the sword, and that's where I turned it off. I feel like there's I feel like there's maybe 3 hours left, something like that. Maybe 2 or 3 hours. Maybe a bit longer, I'm not sure. I've read that it's only a 6 to 8 hour game. Disappointing considering how much I love it, but I think I played for about 4.5 hours. So who knows, hopefully a little bit longer. Hopefully I took it a little bit slow compared to some people, and I'll get another 3 or 4 hours out of it.
Have you missed any collectibles yet?
I don't know, I don't think so. I mean, I've looked, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've missed
There is an extra scene towards the end of the game if you get them all.
Well, I'm going to play it again afterwards anyway, just because 1, I love it so much, and 2, I've noticed that I didn't play it on hard. I usually always play games on hard, and I've played this one on auto difficulty, whatever that means, I don't know. So I'm going to play it again afterwards on hard, so if I don't collect them all, I'll try and recollect them on the replay. So yeah, I'll finish that game tonight probably. Hope you have a excuse me, Sophie. Yawnington. I'm a bit tired myself. Hope you have a nice day, and I might see you later tonight if you're not out on the piss. Take care, Soph. Thanks for dropping by.
You too.
Au revoir, mon ami.